A very happy and cheerful morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are fine at home and taking care of your health. So, we're back with our English class. And as you remember, in the last class, we had started with chapter number 12, The Selfish Giant. Okay? So, first of all, a quick recap of what we studied. So the story is about a giant man, right? And he used to live in a big castle. Now what happened? That the castle was beautiful and he also had a beautiful garden. So many children used to come and play in this garden. Now the giant was not living in this castle for a long time. So the children used to enjoy to play there because there was no one who would put any kind of restriction, right? So वो अपने हिसाब से आराम से खेल के चले जाते थे. But then, after many years, what happened? That the giant came back. The giant, he came back and what he said, nobody is allowed to play in my garden. Now the children were very upset. And you know what he did? He built this big wall. Okay? उसने क्या किया? एक wall कर दी so that the children cannot enter the garden. And he had put the board, the trespassers are prosecuted. Now, what happened? The spring season came. Now, as we know, in the spring season, what happens? The flowers bloom and it looks very beautiful everywhere in the garden. But when we saw the garden of the giant man, what did we saw? That there were no beautiful flowers, there were no beautiful trees. See, the trees are covered with snow and there is no flowers on the ground. Now, the giant was very upset. Naturally, because he has a big garden and there are no flowers, there is no greenery. So he was very much worried. Why is this kind of situation in my garden only? Now let's see what happens next. Okay, so let's start with it.
People who live in his garden are Frost and Snow.
Spring has forgotten this garden. We can live here all the year round.
The giant is sad. He waits for spring. But spring does not come. One day, he hears lovely music from the garden. He comes out of his castle and sees a little bird on a tree, singing a beautiful song.
Oh, what lovely music! I think spring has come at last.
He peeks out of the window and sees a lovely sight. He sees some children creeping in through a little hole in the wall. He sees them playing under a tree. The tree is so glad to have the children back again that it covers itself with flowers.
How selfish I have been! I have been punished for not sharing my garden with the children.
The giant's heart melts. With tears in his eyes, he thinks about it. He breaks the wall around his garden. He allows the children in his garden. Soon, his garden is filled with the laughter of children. Now, the giant often joins the children in their games. Years go by, and the giant grows old and feeble. He can no longer play with the children, but he sits and watches the children playing. Believe me, spring now never forgets to visit the giant's garden.
So what they have said? That spring now never forgets the giant's garden. So as you saw, what happened? When the giant saw that once again in his garden there are flowers, there are birds, and what he saw, it is all because of the little children who were playing in the garden. He realized his mistake, that it is only because of the children that his garden looks so beautiful and the flowers and the plants around were happy. But now I have to rectify what I have done. So what he did, as you saw, he came down and he allowed the children to come and play in his garden. Okay? उसने अपनी wall भी break कर दी. The wall that he had built, you remember? So that also he has broken. And finally, you saw that the children were playing with the giant. Now at the end, what happened? That years have passed by and the giant was not able to play. Okay, because he has grown old now. So what you saw, the little children, they were playing around him and he was just sitting there. So this is a beautiful story, isn't it? It is written by Oscar Wilde. Okay? So this is it for now. In the next video, we will continue with the exercise part. So may God bless you all. Goodbye.